A very good afternoon. Welcome to the Philo e-talk. Today we are very privileged to have Mr. Wen-Pin, the General and Artistic Director of National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts, better known as Weiwuying, with us to speak about Fourth Awakens in Southern Taiwan, operas at Weiwuying. So as a starter, for those who are new to Philo, it is a series of saloon talk revolving the discussions of philosophies and humanities, a meaningful arts and cultural exchange platform between Taiwan and Malaysia, organized by the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Malaysia, produced by INSO Arts and Culture Foundation. I'm Ijen, the creative producer and co-founder of Toccata Studio. I'm the guest host for today. So a gentle reminder, there will be a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post it on the Facebook chat and we will try our best to answer all of them. So here comes a brief introduction of Mr. Wen-Pin. So a graduate from National Taiwan Academy of Arts and awarded master degree at the National University of Music and Performing Arts in Vienna, Mr. Wen-Pin joined the Deutsche Oper am Rhein, pardon my German, in Dusseldorf in 1996 and served as a Kapellmeister for 22 years. So he was also the resident conductor of the Pacific Music Festival in Sapporo, Japan, and he was a musical director of National Symphony Orchestra, or better known as the Taiwan Philharmonic, where he was then the artistic advisor later on. Mr. Chien was the winner of the National Award for the Arts in 2014. So now, of course, he is the General and Artistic Director of the National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts. So without further ado, I will pass this screen to Mr. Wen-Pin, and let's welcome his sharing.
Hello, everyone. So here is Wen-Pin from the National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts in Kaohsiung City of Taiwan. So now should I? Okay. So today I would like to share with you about, as the title said, about the operas. And also I will introduce, so for those who haven't been in Kaohsiung in Weiwuying yet, and I would like to introduce also a bit about the building and also the purpose, why the government wanted to build this cultural center. And then I will also introduce the inside of the building, and we will come to opera, and I will explain why the opera, and then why now I am here in charge for this whole organization. So, and I have prepared also a PowerPoint, and it will be shown. Okay, now so here we are. So I will start, please, the next. Yes, so this is written in Chinese. So it's 众人的艺术中心. So we have this slogan, like because our name is National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts, so we use the Center for the Arts and Arts for the People. So we would like to make the arts so close to people. So which means to bring the performers and listeners or watcher more close, audience more close. And the second line is so we would like to act as an important base for international exchange. So it was also the reason that I agreed, I accepted the invitation to come back from Germany to take the responsibility to run this arts center, so that we want make Weiwuying an important platform for Taiwanese artists from Taiwan to the international scene, arts scene. And Weiwuying also represents a kind of living room, so cultural living room in Kaohsiung, in Taiwan. So this it was mentioned by Francine Hoban, so who built this building and she once she answered the interview in an interview to New York Times. She said, Weiwuying is a cultural living room. So and as we could understand from this word living room, so it describes that there is no more like how to say it, like the arts here is no more like in the palace. So it's here, it is not to you have to make some ceremony, then you can enjoy arts. No, so we want to make arts happen everywhere. Just you can touch, you can feel art as in every corner in Weiwuying, and this is what we are working on it, and it might take 10 years, but anyway, so this is the purpose of this building, and also now so our goal. So the next page, please. So and now the National Kaohsiung Center for the Arts, we have a nickname, so Weiwuying. Weiwuying was actually the name of this area. So it used to be a military base, and in the 1980s, so the government decided so that okay, so we will change this basement to other purpose. And after 20 years of struggle between the government and local people and so on, finally around 2000, so all the people agree that okay, Weiwuying should become a park. So now it calls a Weiwuying Metropolitan Park. So why park? Because people think park is really a place that everyone has the same right to use or to own it. So the Weiwuying becomes a park, and it contains, so the size is like almost 50 hectares. And in 2003, the government decided that, okay, so after the National Theater and Concert Hall in Taipei, which was established in 1987, so they want to balance the cultural activities between northern and southern Taiwan. So they decided to build a national cultural center in southern Taiwan. And soon it has been decided it should be in Kaohsiung and in Weiwuying. So, but it took 7 years from 2003 until 2010. So people has decided which architect company should take over this job. And in 2010, so they start building, and it took also 7 years to build it. So finally, at the middle of 2017, so the construction was finished, and so. But at the same time, so in 2014, the National Performing Arts Center has established. So it is a board of directors, and it should oversee the management of National Theater and Concert Hall in Taipei and National Taichung Theater and Weiwuying. So, but by that time in 2014, the Taichung and Weiwuying was not finished yet. So we built it a management team, so with a small amount of people, and we start working on the future plan. And finally, in 2018, so at the end of January, we are allowed to go inside of the new venue, and we work here, and we start to take over the building step by step, very, very, very long time. And finally, in October of 2018, so we opened this new theater, and it calls the biggest theater complex in the world under one roof. So the idea of this building. Sorry, can we go back to the previous page? Yes, thank you. So here, so we see this building from a southern part. So we are now standing in the park, and we are facing the southern part of this cultural center. So the idea from Francis Holbein was the banyan trees. So when she and her colleagues first visited Weiwuying, so she saw a lot of banyan trees, and she also noticed how people live with or under trees. So she soon found out that people can spend the whole time with the banyan tree. So they might work here, they might make some sport, they can dance, they make tea, and children, they play and ride bicycles and play some board games, but everything happens between trees or under trees. So she decided to use this element. So this is the first one. The second one was the port. Kaohsiung city is a port city, so it used to be the biggest port in Asia or in the world, one of. She wanted to use also this element to the building. So if you are here in Weiwuying, you will see in many places. So we can see the surface was built by the boat technology. So how people will build a boat, they use the same technique to build the surface of Weiwuying. So, and the banyan trees is so so this is a tree, and we have this crown of the trees. And now in Weiwuying we have 6 trees. So it represented 4 venues and 1 office, and 1 is traffic passage, and 6 with above the 6 trees. So we have this roof as a crown of the trees, and it is only 1 tree. So we have, so it's like under 1 roof we have 6 buildings. And in this sense, so now Weiwuying is the biggest one in the world. Okay, so now we go to the next page. So back. Yes, and we have these 4 venues. So we have a concert hall. It's right downside. It is for 981 audience, and as we can see, it's built in so-called vineyard form. And this is the first vineyard form concert hall in Taiwan. So we used to have a shoebox as a style audience auditorium, and this hall is very unique in Taiwan, because this is the first one. And I have heard so that maybe some new venues in Taiwan, they would like to have also this form. And I always told them, so please do not decide for this style, this vineyard style, because you want a vineyard style. Because why this vineyard style concert hall happens in Weiwuying? So it connected to the purpose or the original idea of the architecture. So in every sense or in every side of the building, so the architect, she wants to bring everything closer. And as I mentioned at the beginning, so also it includes performer and audience. And in comparison to the shoebox size style concert hall, you can see, so in shoebox you will see one side of the building is the podium, and another maybe 2/3 side of the building was auditorium. But in this style, in this vineyard style, so you will see the auditorium is surrounding the performing place, the arena in the middle. So it brings a feeling that you are close to the performer. And as a personal experience, I have experienced within 1 week. So I was at the concert at the National Concert Hall in Taipei, and after 2 or 3 days, I was sitting in the concert hall in Weiwuying, and the difference was so big. Because in Taipei, so you will listen to this wonderful performance, but you feel that, okay, yes, I am audience, and you performed there. So okay, so we are totally separated. So there is the stage, and you are playing there, and I'm sitting here and listen to your performance. But in Weiwuying, you will got the feeling that you are in the performance. Yeah, because the sound through the fantastic acoustic design by Albert Xu. So the sound, the acoustic was so good, and you are no more far away from the performer, but you are in the performance. So it's very nice experience. So anyway, so this is a concert hall, and it contains also now is the biggest organ in Asian Performing Arts Center. So our organ has more than 9,000 pipes, and it's divided to 2 parts: a symphonic organ and an echo organ, which is mostly for Baroque music. It's small. The size is smaller, and which we can see on the right side on the wall. Yes, yeah. So anyway, so it is mostly recommend that if you come to Weiwuying, please try to visit a concert, a performance in our concert hall, because the experience is really very interesting. And the picture in right above is a recital hall. It's for 434 people. And this is a very traditional, very small and very fine small concert hall. Actually concert hall, but we also use this space for small size theater work, and even we tried Taiwanese opera performance here with little people, little performance, not performer, not a big troupe. So, and the acoustics here is very fine and very sensitive, because right under this recital hall, there is a big size orchestra rehearsal room. And in order to avoid the disturb from each other, so the architect she built like a box in a box, in like this technique, and which means that this 2 space was hanging there, so they are not sitting on the floor or on the surface. It's hanging. So if you are sitting in recital hall, you cannot hear anything from the orchestra rehearsal room. It's very nice. And for noise, for musical performance, what is most important is the clearance of the sound, and which means also we have to control the noise, and the noise shouldn't be here. So they are so crazy about this. So there is a value called NC, so noise control. And if you can imagine, so the quietness you need for sleep is like NC 30. So which means so the noise around you. So if it's less than 30, NC 30, you can fall asleep easily. And in our concert hall and recital hall, the NC value is 15. So it's even quieter as you need for sleep. So it's really a fantastic experience if you are sitting in the recital hall or in concert hall to listen to music performance, because it's so pure and so direct, but so warm. So it's not so it's very warm, but though you can hear everything very clear. And then it's left above is our playhouse. It's a middle-sized theater for 1,209 people. So it's a typical theater, but it have two use. So you can use it as a usual theaters. There is a stage, and here is the audience. But the front part of the audience can turn to additional space platform, a stage, so that the performer can go into the audience, and also in the audience from three sides, from the back, from the left or right, you can see the performer in the audience. So there are two use of this theater, and I always describe that this is a bigger form from black box. Even this is a blue box because the audience is in blue, and it's a little bit bigger than the usual black box. But this venue is the most used venue in Weiwuying because it suits to any kind of theater, drama work, and also dance program, and sometimes musical programs. And it's very easy to use, and also the size is not too big and not too small. So, and finally we come to the opera house. So it's for 2,236 people in the audience. It is the biggest theater in Taiwan. Yeah, and the big is not only in the size, so that it can serve up to 2,236 audience, but also in the stage area. So we have a stage and rear stage, side stage for on both sides. They are almost the same, so the size are almost the same. So which means you are having 1, 2, 3, 4. You can have 4 sets of the stage, the stage at the same time. So, and also it has elevator going down to -5 level. So it's a huge and magnificent design of this opera house, because if we can really use all this system, that it can create fantastic work, and also it will bring some new impression to the audience. But it's very complicated. The whole system was built by Wagner Bureau. It's really very complicated. So now we are using it step by step. So if we go for full speed from the beginning, then it is dangerous. So now we work closely together with local company, and also with Wagner Bureau, so that so safety at first point, and we go step by step forward. Good. So here we have 4 venues: concert hall, recital hall, playhouse, and opera house. They are indoor. And there is another outdoor theater is on the southern side of the building, which we have seen in the second page of this PowerPoint. And the seating area is can serve up to 800 people. Yeah, but we can use this space as a stage space. So which means the audience can sit in the park, and that area of the park can serve up to 20,000 people. So as we now see, so the outdoor performance. Okay, now sorry. So let's go to opera. So why opera? So the purpose of the building Weiwuying was to balance the cultural development in northern and southern part of Taiwan. And we as artists or as administrator, our goal is to use Weiwuying as a platform for international exchangement. So exchange between Taiwanese artists and international artists, and bring more, so create more chance for Taiwanese artists to be presented, to be seen on international arts scene. So it was also my impression and why I accept this invitation to become the general and artistic director of Weiwuying. As Yijen introduced before, so I was in Deutsche Oper am Rhein in Dusseldorf for 22 years, and plus 6 years in Vienna. So I spent most of my life abroad. So anyway, so I had many chance to fly between Europe and Asia, and I saw so many activities of Asian artists or Taiwanese artists, and I was also always thinking, okay, I know that there are so many brilliant Taiwanese artists in any genre, but what can we do so to give them more chance, more opportunities to be seen? So there are so many organizations, including the National Theatre and Concert Hall in Taipei, and many governmental institutions. So they offer so many chances. But if someone can do more, so why not? So this the same idea. It was the same idea when I was a music director of National Symphony Orchestra. So when we decided to create an opera series, so at that time, so we have Taipei City Symphony and National Taiwan Symphony, and they are doing operas yearly. And I think, okay, why not that we will do opera as well? Then we can give more opportunities for Taiwanese singers or stage directors or designer, etc. So the international connection exchangement. So when the management team was established in January of 2015, the first or one of the first thing we have done is sign a co-production contract with international institution. So it includes like Turandot production with Deutsche Oper am Rhein, and also Paradise Interrupted with Lincoln Center Festival and Singapore International Arts Festival and Spoleto Festival USA, etc. So we have signed 2 co-production contract already in the first year. So far before we have really a venue, an opera house, and this is so important for us, especially in the example of Turandot, which I will talk more later. So it was the first time that Taiwanese creative teams, leading by Li Huanxiong, the stage director, was invited by an European theater to produce one of their annual production. So it never happened before. And I was so proud and also grateful for the kindness or for the friendship from Deutsche Oper am Rhein, so that they are willing to make this co-production happen. And it worked out very fine, and we received very good reviews, and also the audience was appreciated all the performance either in Germany or in Taiwan are sold out, and it was a very nice experience. And so already in the first year, so we decided to sign this co-production contract, and so it follows with co-production with English National Opera, and more to come. So, and opera is also, so to me, So opera is an art form that is oldest crossover art form in Western musical history. So in opera, you can see music playing, music singing, you can see painting, you can see theater drama, and you can see lighting. So everything, all visual effects. So opera is for me. Opera is like Wagner said at the end of 19th century. So a Gesamtkunstwerk. So it's a complete art work, and I think so. This art form matched perfectly to the purpose or to the building of Weiwuying. And also this is one of the parts that I can really serve most because since 1996 I love I found out my love to opera already in before 20 years old, and when I was still a student in the academy, and I had the opportunity to study conducting with Mr. Felix Chen. He was general director of the Taipei City Symphony, and he did a lot of operas, and I had the chance to watch close to all the opera production from real stage work, or from coaching, or assisting conductor, and so on. So that I really got to know about opera, not by just watching opera, but producing opera, and it was my first experience. And then after my studies in Vienna, I was engaged in Deutsche Oper Rhein, and spending 22 years. So I think I know what's going on in the opera house or in an opera production. So it matched all together, and so we decided, okay, so let's do opera. So we start next page. So now I forgot. So this is my first picture, my first conducting picture. I was maybe 2 years old in Taipei. Yeah. So as we can see, so at this picture, I already didn't use button. So, and until now, I rarely use a stick to conduct. So I usually use a pencil or chopstick, but I really don't like the feeling of taking this baton in the hand, because it's like, so I demand you to do something, but for me this is not music making. So music making should be, so we work together, and so I play my role, you play your role, and let's make it happen. So I don't like the feeling that you. So anyway, so here is my life, part of my life. 83 to 88. 88, I was in academy in Taipei, and after 2 years of military service, so I went to Vienna and finished my study, major in orchestra conducting. So I conducted 2 years in Vienna Chamber Opera before I went to Deutsche Oper am Rhein in Dusseldorf in 96. And already in 1995, I joined the Pacific Music Festival, but firstly as an assistant conductor to serve Mr. Tilson Thomas or Eschenbach or Mr. Yutaka Sado. And from 98, I took the job of resident conductor to the festival's orchestra, and I keep this title until 2004. Until I feel that it's too much, because in around 2004 I was conductor at the Deutsche Oper am Rhein, and I served in Pacific Music Festival and music director of the National Symphony in Taiwan. So it was too much. I was so exhausted, and I think now I should stop. So, and I keep my music directorship in National Symphony until 2007. And later I act for 2 years as an artistic advisor for National Taiwan Symphony Orchestra, which is based in Taichung. And from 2015, so this management team of Weiwuying was built, and in September of 2018, so the real organization of Weiwuying was opened, was established, and I took officially the general directorship. So now we go to opera. So in October 2018, the Weiwuying was opened. So we had inauguration on 13th of October 2018, and until now, so we use the double 10 vacation in Taiwan. It's an official vacation, so we use the double 10 these days to act our open door, open house day. So until now, we keep this tradition, and the first opera or so-called opera production we did during our opening series was the creation. It was a production by La Fura del Baus from Spain, and this production is so unique. It was designed especially for the concert hall in vineyard style. So it has been performed in Philharmonie in Paris and in Elbphilharmonic in Hamburg. And finally at the end of October, so this production come to our concert hall. And we are so scary because it used tons of water on the stage. And they had to put the singers, so like fish, in the water. In the water, and they start to sing. So it was very funny, but very, very scary. But anyway, we took this risk, and the effect was very good. So because we want to show that opera has a need to be seen or to be done only in so-called opera house. You can do it everywhere. So the first one we did was in concert hall. La Fura del Baus presented the creation, and we have a clip for at that time. So for the whole opening series, and it contains some minutes, some seconds of this creation production. The next one, so we have done in Weiwuying during our opening series, is Candide by Bernstein. So it's again happened in the concert hall, and we invited a stage director from Germany, who she is actually Taiwanese, Frederica Tsai, and it was also the first time for her to stage direct an opera production in Taiwan, and we decided to use it in our significant concert hall, but with almost a full Taiwanese cast, and to make the concert hall become a stage for these crazy stories of Candide, by Voltaire. It was 100th anniversary of Bernstein. This is one reason, and another reason is that because me and my colleagues, we are so impressed, or we laugh so much about the final piece of this operetta of Candide, because it calls so let's make the garden grow, and the text calls that so in order to make this garden grow, so we have to do by ourselves, but we have to work with other people. So everyone work together, and we will make this garden grow. And it was also our so our intention or our will to work for Weiwuying. So we know we are a young team, and Weiwuying is absolutely young, just born. But we are so confident, and we will give everything that so we all together can make this garden. So make Weiwuying, make Kaohsiung, make Taiwan grow. So we decide to because of this phrase, so we decide for this production. So it's crazy, but anyway, it's worth to do it. So after Candide, so we have this Paradise Interrupted. It's composed by a Chinese composer who lives in the States, Mr. Huang Ruo. And this is a very interesting opera because it's written for 5 singers on stage, and 5 singers include 4 male singers and 1 bass, baritone, tenor, and countertenor. So from a very low to very high register of a male voice. And at another side is a Kunqu player or musician or actor. So Miss Qian Yi is also a Chinese artist who lives in the States for a while, and she's very famous as a Kunqu actor. And Huang Ruo wrote this opera just for those 5 people, and this singing about a story of love, of death, life, and the libretto comes from Chinese literature, from Europe literature, from ancient literature, all about the love and life and a woman and man. So, and we played this production in our playhouse. So again, playhouse. So until now we didn't use our opera house. But again, we shows that the possibility of doing opera. So it can be everywhere. So this production was originally just an installation in the New York Metropolitan Museum, designed by Miss Jennifer Ma. But during this collaboration, so they found out the possibility or ability of turning this project to an installation opera. So with a bigger scale and with an ensemble as an orchestra. So they start working together between Jennifer Ma, Qian Yi, and Huang Ruo. And finally, they work out this version, which we have performed in 2015, 2016, 18, in many places of the world, this Paradise Interrupted. So going into the year of 2019, so in April, we produced Turandot. So what I introduced already, that co-produced by with Deutsche Oper Rhein, but we will come back to this production later. So let's talk about the Magic Flute. So it was performed in October 2019, also during our anniversary period. And so the performance in Weiwuying was right after the performances in Macau that year. And this Magic Flute production is so famous. So it has been performed more than 350 times, and in at least 25 different cities. And so more than 500,000 audience have seen this production. And why it's so popular? Because the stage director, Berikowski, and the English theater group, 1927, so they successfully turns the minus point of the Deutsche Oper or Singspiel into a contemporary nice opera production with easier acceptance. So in the original Magic Flute, there is a problem. First, the scene change is very complicated and a lot. So as I remember, it has to be, so if you are really serious about what Mozart and Schikaneder has written, so you have to change the scene at least more than 10 times in one show. So it's so complicated. And in the original Magic Flute, there is songs, there is dialogue. And dialogue sometimes not very short. So it has always been a problem for example, in Asian country. So in Taiwan, let's say in Taiwan. So we used to have to perform, I mean, in the history of opera performance in Taiwan, we used to perform Mozart, or then also Magic Flute, and also Weber. Yeah. And so this German or Italian opera from earlier times. So there are always problems because we have a singing part and a speaking part. Okay, so you have to decide if we have to speak in original language or not. If not, for easier understanding of audience, okay, sometimes we tried singing in Italian and speaking or recitating in Chinese. But it's weird. It's weird, and sometimes it's scary because it's you have to what is now, because actually even in the dialogue, especially in Mozart, so it's also musical in the dialogue. So and Berikowski and 1927, so they found a solution. So they delete all the dialogue. So there is almost no dialogue. Instead, and also to solve the problem of scene changing, so they use the animation. So in the animation, you can change whatever when you want, because there are, if you have enough fantasy, you can create a new pictures just at any time. So they use this technology or this idea of animation. So and it's a little bit like a backward. Now this is in a time that we are seeking, or we are urging for more technology, for from 2D to 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions, sometimes even 4 dimensions. And we on cell phone we have 3G, 4G now, so we are all thinking about 5G. So, but in this production, they go backward. So they are using this 2-dimension thinking and make this opera production. And Magic Flute becomes so easy watching, because there are no complicated scene change, but you will see as if you are seeing television, yeah. And the singers, but the singers, they have also many things to do, because they have to work with the animation. So it's not I stand there and I sing and animation runs by themselves. No, so there are a lot of times that they have to match to each other, so to make the effect more big. As you see, it's like if you are watching television or watching animation or watching cartoon. Yeah, it's very, very, very funny. And yeah. So, and in year 2020, so when after the COVID-19 started to make damage to our business, so at the end of February, so we did War Requiem by Benjamin Britten. So it was a co-production with English National Opera, so directed by Daniel Kramer. So War Requiem is a requiem, it's a musical piece. But already in the end of 20th century, so we see many institutions, many orchestra, theaters, or dance group, ballet. So they use musical pieces to turn them to a dramatic show. So we can see the art of fugues by Bach, as a ballet number, and we see war requiem, and sometimes, as I remember, so there are also Requiem by Verdi as a drama piece on the stage. So, and this is a drama version of Britain's War Requiem. There are only 3 soloists, 1 soprano, represented as an angel, and 1 tenor, represented as an English soldier, and 1 baritone as a German soldier. So it's very, it's excellent work, because so the text by Owen was written from in the time of First World War, and this piece was commissioned for a church which was destroyed during the Second World War. So this piece tell us a story from more than 40 years, from 30 years, from the First World War to Second World War, and we tried to bring it on the stage, and certainly with a personal interpretation of Daniel Kramer. But anyway, so this piece is always about anti-war, about love, about human, and in this production we have also a visual artist, Wolfgang Tillmans, and who is world famous a visual artist, and he joined this co-production. And at the end of February, or in February, the COVID, the pandemic, was already a little bit serious. And at that time, so as originally planned, so the English National Opera should send some people to Taiwan to help to build, to solve some technical issues. But then the pandemic happens, and they decide, okay, we don't want to let our people to be in risk. So we have to build the same team in Taiwan, just in overnight, in order to keep the schedule, and the help from England so was through the internet. So we filmed so when we set up the stage or we set up any equipment, so we filmed it, and through YouTube or other app, so English people can watch and advise us what to do. And I was very grateful that Mr. Daniel Kramer, the stage director, and also Wolfgang Tillmans, and also a costume designer, so they are all in Taiwan, so with us. And it was very, very a difficult fight with this production, because this Requiem, the most famous point is that the chorus is so difficult, so demanding, and so you must have an excellent core, otherwise you shouldn't do the War Requiem. And we are so lucky that the Taipei Philharmonic chorus, so they are willing and they are eager to do this production, and they have sung this production several times in Taiwan, sung this piece. And we have to imagine that more than 100 people with masks and rehearse the War Requiem in a big rehearsal room, and sometimes just with fear. Sometimes, okay, let's take out the mask and try once, because we want to hear the real sound of the chorus. So not only I always say that so we have done this War Requiem with our strong will. So because in any moment we can give up easily. So okay, so let's stop it. So it's too complicated, or no, it's too dangerous. No, but we keep our our will until the last moment, and we did 2 performances, very successful. So now finally we go to Turandot. So Turandot first premiered in December 2015 in Duisburg in Germany, and at that time we supposed that we are going to be ready to perform in 2016, so late 2016, so in Taiwan, to perform this co-production. But then the construction was a little bit delayed, and in 2017 delayed again, and finally in 18. So we decided to bring it in spring of 2019. So, and it was there. We had scheduled 3 performances, but it was sold out very quick. So finally we add the 4th one into a series, and it was very successful. And according to the schedule, so we have to return all the scene costumes to Germany no later than September 2020, because the theater in Germany, they would like to perform this production again in early 21. So, and then the pandemic happened, and we thought, okay, so before we return this costume and set to Germany, why not let's do again a series of Turandot, because people like it so much, and also Taiwan belongs to the only or few places in the world that we can do performance or enjoy performance as usual already in June. Yeah, I think already in June 2020. So the government decided that, okay, now you can do performance as usual, and people, you can sell full house, but with mask. Yeah, anyway, with mask. So soon we decided, okay, good. So let's give another shot of Turandot. So we bring it out at the end of August, and it represented also the end of how to say it, lockdown for performing arts in Taiwan. So as we already opened in June and July, but people were but the performances start again step by step. So not many theater troupe or companies, they would like to run the first. So we do it. We increase the performance with care. So we don't want to do too soon, and then if something bad happens, so it's not very good. So anyway, so at the end of August, we have done second time the Turandot, and so many people from the whole world. So my friends, his friend, her friends, is, you are so lucky, you can do the performances. Turandot is so for so many people, because there are more than 200 people on stage, and also in orchestra pit in total. So it's so pity that I can't see the show, and we think, okay, why not? So if you want to see this, so let's make it happen. And so we decide also very soon that, okay, so in the premiere night we will stream the performance. And so it was also very funny, and I think it was a small success for us. And there are more than 50,000 people watching, and including many musicians and singers from the whole world. And we received also many comments and or thanks from them, because it's quite encouraged in the pandemic time, so that you see that in a place in the world, so there are still arts going on, and life alive. So, and following this Turandot, so in October, when we, next one please, when we celebrate our 2nd anniversary, so we decided to do a project called Let's Opera. So it's an opera kind of competition or selection for non-professional people. So we got more than 100 applicants, and there are no professional singers. So they might used to study singing even as a major, but they finally they didn't become musician or became professional singer, not even in chorus. But we just want to make, so as I said already from the beginning, so the art and the life, so the arts and people, they should be close and they should be close to each other. So why the opera? So why only the professional singers can sing opera? So as usual people, everyone can sing opera. So we decided to do this selection, and there was more than 100 applicants, and we finally decided for 8 finalists, so-called finalists, and we gave them 2 or 3 lessons with professional opera singers, and they teach them how to sing on stage, so really like a singer. And we also invited a stage director to teach them how to move or how to act or how to walk nicely on stage, such things. And we put a very, very simple scene on stage as well in a recital hall. So this is this Let's Opera, and we will continue doing it. So this October we will do our 2nd edition. And it was very touching because in the interview you hear everyone's life story, and it's so personal and it's so full of love, because they come here because they love the opera, they love singing, they love music, and it's very touching. That's opera. It was a show of 8 life stories and 8 soul of music love. So, and now we come to 2021, so this year. So we have presented La Traviata in March. It was it has also a small story, because we have done this production already in June 2016. So 1 year after our management team start working. So it was also the first co-production between the Weiwuying and the Kaohsiung Spring Arts Festival. So this festival was organized by the Cultural Bureau of Kaohsiung already from 2010. Yeah, and it's so the purpose of this festival is to gathering people to wake their attention to arts and culture, and then it happens always in springtime. And in 2016, so we had this first one, first co-production. I was also conducting, and with a Taiwanese stage director, Mr. Yang Shiping, and inviting soprano and tenor from Europe, and all local cast. Yeah, and at that time, so we have already decided, okay, once if the venue is done, so we have to perform this Traviata in our opera house. So in this March, it happened, and we presented 4 performances with 2 different casts of main roles. So, and very interesting actually. So afterwards, so we found that during the rehearsal time, so we found out, oh, it's an all Asian cast. There's no one from no Italian singers, or no Russian singers, no German singers. So they are basically all Taiwanese singer, include and with Martin Ng from Singapore, who has joined already several times in Weiwuying's production, in Turandot, in Requiem, and so he was the one, and Mr. Choi from Korea, but he is teaching in Taipei, one of the universities since years. So actually, they are all Asian singers, and it make this production very, very vivid and also meaningful, because usually people, as we understand, the opera is a Western art form, and in Taiwan or in Chinese speaking space, we have Chinese opera or Beijing opera or Taiwanese opera or Guangdong opera. So, but this opera, so it's a Western art form. But there are so many excellent Asian singers and also stage directors, designers, conductor, maybe, yeah. And so and we prove that so we can also interpret the opera with confidence and with our view of thinking. So we don't have to so we will try to make it. No, because after our studying or working from Europe or from the States, so we came back. All the singers, they came back and they know what's going on, and they know what to do, and in the past, so there is no chance, maybe a lack of chance, and they don't have many opportunities to show their ability. And now, so through Weiwuying and other institutions, so now they have more chance, more opportunities to show or to make people know so what they can. And in this sense, Traviata was, so for me, it's a bail. Yeah, so now, so let's support, or let's see what our local singers, local artists can do. And this is also one of the most important things that we have learned from pandemic, because so the international travel is almost impossible, almost. Yeah, but so what can we do? So what we can do as an institution, so we have to awake people's attention or interest to support or even to criticize or to praise the local artist, but also the local artists and the companies, they have to learn how to listen to the word from audience, and maybe in order to improve their work, because it's not possible to do only arts in your small room and with just a little people. It's very important for the artists that so your work is speaking to the people, and in order to speak to the people, you have to learn how to listen to the people. And I think in this sense, during the pandemic period, so not only in Weiwuying, also in the National Taiwan Theater or in Taipei National Theater, so we all work very hard in this direction, and to help or to encourage our local people at both sides, for the performers and also for audience. That's so now let's do art, let's enjoy art. Traviata. And what is to come is in September in this year, we will do Maria de Buenos Aires. It's an operetta by Piazzolla, who also, so we celebrate his 100th anniversary this year. So Maria de Buenos Aires is a tango, so the opera with tons of tangos, and is mainly for dancers. But there are tenor and soprano as a soloist, and also a narrator with a small size of orchestra. It's very, very light, but if you with this. If you like tangos, then you will like this operetta, and the storyline is very, very easy, and the tango is so. I think I don't know anyone that who doesn't like tango. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so this is actually a production with many Taiwanese artists and artists from Hong Kong, artists from Macau join in this production. So we have, and it will be how to say it, the stage director will be the Helen Lai from Hong Kong, and she will also make the choreography of this production, and it will be performed in Weiwuying in September this year. And in January next year, so we will bring a production of Bellini's Norma. And Norma was also one of the opera production I have done when I was a music director in National Symphony in Taipei. And also, again, the stage director is Mr. Li Huanxiong, the same for the Turandot. And Norma was in 2004, was also his first opera production, so in Taiwan, and also our first cooperation. And in 2004, it's become a topic of the annual, how to say it, cultural event, because we at that time we had Miss Zhu Taili, who is living in Italy, is a Taiwanese singer, and she teaches in conservatory in Italy, and an excellent singer. And she accepted our invitation and to sing the Norma, the main role. And as an antipart, so there is Adalgisa, and who is another female role, but it's also very strong in the drama to Norma. And we at that time we had Miss Xu Yiling, who is teaching also in the university in Taichung. And we have these two giants on stage in the National Concert Hall in Taipei, and with a chorus, excellent chorus. And anyway, Norma is one of the most important or famous bel canto opera in the history of Western music. And so that production was very exciting, and I thought because also this year, so not only in opera, so also in other performing arts form. So actually we presented a lot of how to say, the recovering work or revised work. So not only in opera. So in this line, so we decide to reproduce the production of Norma, and it will be seen in January next year. So that's, and the journey will goes on after Norma, and we will keep working on the opera productions, and to encourage more people, more artists to join. So this great war in with opera. So this is what I have prepared for the PPT PowerPoint. So now, so if you have any questions, please fire up.
All right. So thank you very much for Mr. Chien Wen-Pin, not only sharing to us such wonderful and rich content of operas, but also introduction of the background and building of Weiwuying as the new venue. I suppose I can say it's new because it's about 2-3 years right now. So I actually personally visited Weiwuying in 2019, and because Toccata Studio was invited to this program called High Kaohsiung. And there's this combination of local residency in Kaohsiung, and then my artist actually created a stage production there. And that means I have this privilege to personally experience the magnificent venue and the amazing acoustics and everything that you have explained. So it's really lucky actually for people in Kaohsiung to have such a privilege living next to this world-class art center in the city. So being the general and artistic director of such a massive art center of multiple venues, what was your biggest challenge in the beginning when you took up this position?
In Taiwan, so there is no one who has experiences to work in or with this size of performing arts center. So at the beginnings, because we were lack of time, so we are running after the schedule. So we moved into this new building at the end of January 2018, and can you imagine that we have to open already in October? So we have to get used to all the facilities and try to fix something what needs to be fixed, and to make it all ready, and just to remember the route to every corner is difficult. And I once I asked my colleagues, so how many keys do we have? We have more than 20,000 keys. So it's crazy. So I've seen a photo that they just hang all the keys like a Christmas tree. Yeah, it's so, and you can imagine how big is this building. And so the most difficult part is this, and then we have to, how to say it, we have to we have to reduce the fear from the local people. Why I say it, if you see the form of Weiwuying, the building, it's almost like spaceship from somewhere. They're like a UFO. Yeah. And it's so big, and everyone knows it's national. It's not from Kaohsiung. It's not from city government. It's national. Yeah, it's from there. Yeah. So first, you have to do so many things that to let people forget about this point. So Weiwuying is. Sorry, Siri.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of related to my question as well. How do you actually tackle this arts without boundaries issue with the local people? Because it's always the most challenging thing to actually do this audience development and audience engagement.
Yeah. No. You just have to say it again and again. Yeah, and it's just Kaohsiung, how you can own Weiwuying and how you can use Weiwuying. How can you find your love in Weiwuying? So this kind, and also we work also closely with local government. Yeah, and yes, but yes.
Yeah. Actually, because when I was there was this because the design of the building itself, I think, is very welcoming. There's like, you don't without realizing you are already in the building, because it blends so well with the landscape around. And there is this openings that you can actually go in and out of the building for and also the outdoor arenas areas that I think that for the few days I was there, it was constantly having different activities, and then people were actually responding very well. Yeah,
we just have to give people the impression that just come here, and you don't have to worry about anything. You should just come here. Except going to the venue, you have to buy a ticket and going in. But otherwise, so our public space, either in the third floor or in the basement, in the ground floor or first floor, you just come here and you will enjoy the arts. So in every corner, and not forget to mention that we have a piano in our public space. So we call it public piano, and it's free to play. And I mean, free is you don't even need to register when 2 o'clock I will come here and play 15 minutes and then another one. No, we leave it to people, so they should decide by themselves. And if you if you go there, you will see that the people there, so who are waiting for playing, so they just sit there very quiet, and they will applause to the person who is playing, and the person who plays, she or he also knows that no, I shouldn't occupy this too long, so I have to let other people play. So this feeling of sharing is very touching, and I think this is our goal. So I don't want to make guardians there and so make rules. That it should happen everything so very natural and from human, so not from writing. And this is so what our attitude to whole building, and I really want to make the whole Weiwuying to be so easy touching, and so not only without boundary, but just you should own the Weiwuying.
Yeah. There is this question coming in from one of our audience here, asking, may I know the sustainability of this center? Is it mainly through projects and show productions? Yeah. Does that mean like in the operation end of how the venue sustain itself? Or I think,
Yes, and we also have two restaurants. Anyway, we have two restaurants and two coffee shops. We have also a parking space, so we can earn a little bit, but it's very small.
But mainly, I think for such a scale, for a venue of such a scale, it is almost impossible to like. I mean, in responding to this question, so it's always like a government initiative, and it has to come from the public's money.
Yes, absolutely. Until
because
now,
it's
80% of our budget come from government.
Yes. Well, as you've mentioned, so everyone is talking about the pandemic right now and how it hits this whole performing arts sector. And of course, we understand like Taiwan have it under very well control. But even so, we have heard from yourself that these challenges of building the local team on the last minute and working with the British team online to solve the technical issues of the Requiem and stuff like that. So under these circumstances of the COVID-19, what do you foresee in the programming of running this venue?
No, so I think even for next year or next 2 years, we have to mainly plan with local art force, because I'm not doctors, and I have zero knowledge about the virus, but I'm afraid that it's not easy to or it won't be so fast to become like before. So and I think we have to keep our line now, so to make our local artistic teams or theater troupes to encourage them to do some new things, and also to awake people's interest. So let's see what our local artists can do, and if with luck, so there will be some few international programs, then which will be fine, but we shouldn't put so much hope to in the programs from abroad.
But at this moment, is it possible? I mean, it's possible to enter Taiwan from the Taiwan and with the quarantine rules.
With 14 days of quarantines, and right after quarantine, you have to be very careful for 7 days. So you shouldn't go to crowded place. You shouldn't go to rehearsal or not even and performance. No, you are not allowed. So you can go anywhere, but no so crowdy place and no so intimate rehearsal or performance. So after, which means you have to spend 21 days doing nothing. Or meditate.
Yeah. And on the return, I think every countries have their own quarantine rules as well. So basically
exactly.
both ways. That would be extra crazy. So there's this question coming from another audience here. Do you think the form of opera presentation may or may not change post-pandemic?
Yes, I think it has been changed already. So not to mention that so many theater, including the Deutsche Oper am Rhein in Dusseldorf, where I worked before. So they started, also I mean, this kind of opera streaming. So this is already a different thinking of opera productions, because so one time I have a very good discussion with my colleagues, and I think I say, in the live performance, so let's say opera, so in the theater, to experience opera, you have the comment. So we present this production in front of you, and you as an audience, you can decide what to see. Right? So in Traviata, when they are singing Brindisi, so you are not going, you don't have to watch Violetta or Alfredo. You can watch to the chorus people. You can watch audience. You can watch orchestra. You can watch conductor. So you can decide where you will put your eyes. But in streaming, you have lost this ability. So what you have seen, what you can see, the director already decided for you, because of the how to say, the screening. And so I want to film. So for example, in case of Brindisi, so the stage director, he will decide, okay, firstly you will see Alfredo singing, and then a lot of people, and then the Violetta singing, and then a lot of people. So he or she will decide for you, because you sitting in front of the screen, you are not able to decide. I don't know if it's clear what I try to say. Not really.
Yeah,
but I think the technology
totally.
will,
because then it's one dimension thing, and instead of having this surrounding.
But I think they do have technology. I think in the ball games, in baseball or or football. So I have heard. I'm not sure that people can decide, okay, from which angle to see the ball. Football. Okay, so maybe so one day, so they will add this kind of technique to opera streaming or opera production. So again, so because of this, how to say, so this ability of choice from stage director or film director or the audience, it also affects the production, the size or the idea of opera production. And I think it will change. And for me, it started changing already. And I'm sure it will change again and again. So, for example, one conducting colleague of mine, he's now so general music director in Regensburg Theater, and they have done Othello. So, if usually people do Othello, so there are 100 of chorus and more than 10 soloists and big orchestra, but they have done Othello with maybe 20 people of chorus, and in orchestra pit also 20 people, if I didn't make a mistake. So it's very small size. So it starts changing already, because this is for audience need, or and also for artists need. So they want to, or they need to work to perform the arts, and for the listener or watcher audience, so they want to enjoy arts, and because of the situation of pandemic, so you have to make some changement, and I'm sure the opera form will change. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, oh, am I on the mic? Yeah, in fact, when you spoke about Let's Opera, the project that you did last year, there was this change of form of opera as well in engaging people as performer, and where did that actually came from, that idea of running that project?
I'm sorry, I didn't. Can you repeat the question again?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Speaking about the project that you did last year about the Let's Opera, the engaging people to perform, the local people.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, this is only one part of our community engagement.
Connecting. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So actually, this is only one part of our community engagement projects. So we have far before this Let's Opera, we have already Let's Dance. So in every so once in a month, so on Wednesday evening, so we will present in our Banyan Plaza. Is a public space but under roof. So we invited a teacher once, and people are welcome to come here to learn dance, and we offer different kind of dance, tango, ballet, etc. And even during the pandemic, during the lockdown of performing arts activities, we still keep this working because going, because it's outdoor firstly, and second, we all keep this social distance, and we all wear mask, and we also teach talk to the teachers that there shouldn't be some intimate dance form, so it should be so distance, or they should dance alone, so for themselves. So this already become an usual, so a usual activity for citizens of Kaohsiung, and Let's Opera is just last one. So what we do.
Yeah. That actually links to the next question from our audience, that what's the impact of to Kaohsiung community or local people after establishment of Weiwuying? Is it bringing more cultural income to the society? Is it enhanced cultural literacy of the local people? So how does the local people support the cultural industry?
So I think our most effort, and even now, so 3 years after the inauguration, so still we want to wake the interest to the people, and we want to tell them that, look, you have the chance, and you, so how to say it, so you have to know that you have the chance to choose, just to try listen or watching the performing art. So this is your right. So, and here we bring this right to you, and you have to give yourself a chance. And after this, you whenever you want, you can decide, okay, I like this and I hate this, so I find it boring, or I want to come here tomorrow again. So it's up to you, but but we want to let people know that this is your right as a human. So it will make your life more fun, more interesting, and more, how to say, more full if you have this experience encountered with performing arts. So we want to encourage them. So that's why. So what we do is around this purpose, and certainly after our establishment, if we see the data or the annual report from the arts ticket system in 两厅院售票系统, so we have learned that the income or the ticket selling from 2018 to 2019, so in southern part of Taiwan, is more than double. Yeah, it's crazy, and so we didn't think about it. We just we just encourage people to come, and we knew that the most of our audience is from local, so we don't rely on tourists. Yeah, tourist is mostly for the building because it's close to the highway, and if they drive down from the highway, Weiwuying is just near there, and you can let people walk in a little bit before going to another place. So many buses come to Weiwuying, and many tourists, and also we step by step we create many guide tour programs, guide tour projects so that people can choose and join, and so our visitors are not few. We have many visitors, but if we say so the cultural income, it's still at the beginning because if you see our ticketing system, so we have the lowest ticket price for us as here in Weiwuying is 300. So this is Taipei, maybe they will start selling from 600. I don't know, but for us in Kaohsiung, so starting from 300 is reasonable, and it's also what we have to do.
Yeah. Yes. So there's this one last question from our audience. Mr. Chien, you have such a beautiful venue, and your work and courage is so admirable. Are you open to working with other smaller opera companies in the region? We are a small company in KL.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Because we receive so many, offer or so many ideas from local, from international theater company or troupe or even artists, and we also always have to discuss with colleagues, because I have a programming department and also technical department and a marketing department, and we have regular meeting, and if once we receive any projects, and we all discuss together. And I mean, if there is small, it doesn't matter if small or big. Yeah, but anyway, if you have any idea of interesting project or any thought, please just write to us, write to me, and we will see what we can do.
Right. So right now, I think everyone has understand the courageous personality of you by taking up this challenge of running this massive venue. So one last question actually is from my personal curiosity. So what are some criteria in your personality that you think to help you achieve such success in life?
What?
What are some criteria in your personality that helps you achieve your success in life?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I just do what I can do, and yeah, and always go with a full without reservation.
Courageous. Yeah. Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Wen-Pin,
Thank
for
you,
sharing
Ethan.
with us your talent, your passion, and your expertise. So thank you very much for everyone to follow us through these 2 hours. And kindly follow T-Philo Facebook page and Inso Foundation Facebook page for upcoming T-Philo sessions. So thank you very much for joining and wishing you a wonderful weekend.